I'm here at the Bonsai Show live, which is in Telford, which is just north of Manchester. For those of you who live abroad, you must be wondering what this is all about. This is a huge auditorium. It's a massive space, absolutely massive space. I don't know how many square feet or square meters it is, but it's absolutely massive. There aren't many bonsai shows around, so this is organized by one particular person. So there are quite a few traders and exhibition and demonstration. It's a 2-day event and it seems to be going quite well. But what I want to show you really are the trees in the exhibition. There are a lot of traders, there are a lot of people who have very interesting displays, but I'll concentrate on the trees to begin with. So I will describe all the trees and give a critique. This is a beautiful Korean hornbeam, and the color is very nice. Korean hornbeams have this lovely autumn color, and the color is just changing. It's a very old tree that looks like a Gordon Duffet pot. Beautifully made tree. And the accompanying, if you can call it an accent, is a bronze Buddha sitting in here. What a beautiful display. What a beautiful display. And while I'm here, there is one person who is very knowledgeable. This particular person has researched a lot of these Japanese and Chinese pots. So if you can take a close look, there's so much information and detail there. This gentleman obviously knows his stuff. These are all antique pots which he has researched, and there's a lot of information. Let me move on to the other displays because every display is interesting. This is a mountain maple, root over rock, in a very nice pot. Most of these handmade pots are made by British potters, and over the last 30 years, there has been an explosion of good British potters that have produced some beautiful pots. This is a Trident maple, I think, and they have defoliated the tree, which is how it should be shown sometimes. And again, beautiful pot. This is, I think it's a privet. It's hard to tell until I get close. Yes, it is a privet, but the leaves are very small. Privet is a much overlooked material. They're usually hedging plants, but those privets that have thick trunks, they make beautiful trees that have trunks that can be carved. Now this is I think an English yew, Taxus baccata. I don't think it's a Japanese yew. I could be wrong. There's no label with it, but this Japanese yew. Sorry, I thought it was a Japanese yew. So probably an imported tree, very nicely groomed. I'm going to cover all the trees because just to show you the wealth of material that has been used. This is some sort of crab apple. I think it looks like a wild crab. Can you imagine? This must have been one large tree trunk carved. It is about nearly 2 foot across, And a beautiful pot. I'd love to know what the pot is. Handmade British pot. Very interesting tree. That's a hawthorn in a literati style. This is one of these accents of a type of non-flowering Satsuki azalea. Again, a beautiful pot with a drippy glaze. Look at this for a fuchsia. This is so tiny. Look at my hand. See how small it is. Beautiful stand. And now this is probably one of my favorite trees. This is a dawn redwood. And the pot must be at least 2 foot long. It could be even more. I think it's almost 70 centimeter long. But the unusual thing about this dawn redwood is it's got a beautiful taper, beautiful nibari, and look at the twisted trunk. You see the texture of the trunk, twisted all the way around. And I like the way the branches hang downwards. Look at the texture of the pot, beautifully made pot. And this accent planting is very unusual because there is a very miniature thyme which is growing out of the pot. Look at it, so unusual. And that stand is made from lead, roofing lead. That is innovation for you. So many wonderful ideas. Then we come to another thing. This, I think, is a Korean hornbeam. Korean hornbeam grown in almost a broom style, which is unusual, with very wide spreading branches. Lovely pot again. And one of my favorites in the show is this wonderful Chinese juniper. And the pot is like a cave, obviously handmade ceramic pot. Then you see the cave effect, cave underneath, and it's like growing on top of the cave. Absolutely stunning. This is one of my favorite trees on the show, like a semi-cascade. And the whole piece is about 3 foot wide. Look at the detail. Certainly one of my favorites. Beautifully conceived, beautifully executed. And then this I think I recognize. I think this is Mark's raft style privet. It's a dead privet branch, and all those branches are growing from one point almost. Again, privet. It's amazing the number of privets that have been used. See, privets are very good for carving. They lend themselves to carving. Beautifully carved trunk. Again, a British pot. John Pitt, I believe. So that's a beautifully made tree. This is the chojubai, the Japanese quince with a massive trunk. Typical Itoigawa juniper. So much detail here, beautiful. And I'm looking at that beautiful mountain maple with that beautiful nebari. Look at that nebari on this. These are top class exhibition trees. Trees like this are very expensive in Japan now. I'm surprised that there are so many maples that are in good condition for this exhibition, because most people in England have had a lot of trouble keeping the maples in good condition because of the heat, and we've had some hot days when the sudden heat damaged a lot of the branches. So all these maples are in very good nick. That's a beautiful pot. Look at that pot. Look at that tree. Beautiful base on that tree. I'm showing you the details so you can appreciate the detail. Let me walk around the tree and show you bits of it. Again, admire the pot. Look at that lovely pot. And again, accent growing on a piece of ironstone or sandstone. Cedar of Lebanon. You don't often find good cedars, especially those which have got big trunk. Look at the trunk of that tree. That trunk is every bit 5 to 6 inches across. Yeah? You're enjoying it? You'll be on YouTube, sir. And then there's a beautifully sculpted Itoigawa. Look at the carving on that. And look at that piece of wood. I could go into ecstasy looking at these trees. The wealth of talent that there is in this country is quite amazing. Apparently that maple, the pot maker, is a guy called Shuho. Shuho. And look at that lovely accent, a snail on a piece of enameled copper, I think. Beautiful, beautiful thing. That pot of the cedar is quite interesting too. This is made by Kirkan Kurakova, Czech potter. Okay, let's move on. There are lots of exhibits. This is a red pine. A red pine is very rare. You don't see many red pines. Densiflora, literati style. Looks like a imported tree. Again, a Czech pot. And I like the way they've displayed it with some rocks rather than a wooden stand. It's nice when people do unusual things. This is another unusual stand. I think it's a ceramic stand. Japanese 5-needle pine in immaculate condition.
See, yeah, I agree. Should be a little bit taller. Improvement is always possible.
Toniasta. Sculpture is almost like a Henry Moore sculpture. This exhibitor obviously likes his cotoneasters. And how about that for an English oak? And that accent planting is unusual. A juga on driftwood. English oak. And in a China mist pot, beautiful pot. So again, as I say, there's so many wonderful British potters now. Look at that lovely pot. Rivals any Japanese or Chinese pot. And that's a lovely oak tree. It's about 3 foot tall, and the trunk diameter must be about 7 to 8 inches at the base. Moving on, there's a beautiful white pine in a beautiful condition. Nebari must be about at least 12 to 14 inches at the base. It's special repaired kintsugi pot, but in immaculate condition. I always admire how people can keep these trees in such wonderful condition. Look at that accent, beautiful, lovely accent. Mulberry, you don't often see mulberry, but this is a very good example. Again, in such a small pot. It's, I think, a Dan Barton pot. Beautiful condition. Some wonderful trees. This is a type of procumbens juniper, yes. Could be probably a Japanese import because procumbens is not often found like this. Almost like a collected tree. I'm trying to get as much detail as possible so that you can appreciate the fine detail that there is. This is almost like a root of an elm, but see how beautifully it's done. Winter image is beautiful, exquisite. And here there's a Chinese juniper in a crescent pot. And the accompanying display is a stone. This is Prunus Mahaleb, St. Lucia cherry. This is semi-cascade larch, a hollow trunk. Again, British made pot. I think this looks like a Dan Barton pot. Semi-cascade Scots pine. Very nice. So, Japanese pot.
I like this one. Flying here.
Nice display. Very nicely displayed. That's a Sablo's juniper. Nothing fancy. Planted on a piece of rock. Stunning. And this tree I recognize is Tony Tickle's famous yew. It was only collected 14 years ago, I believe. Very nice tree. Although this tree, he's using this as the front, but the other side is as nice. Carving is very good. I think I would prefer this as the front because the driftwood is more dramatic from this side. This is one of these very esoteric Hinoki cypress. Another Korean hornbeam, triple trunk. Very beautiful. These are real mushrooms. And then I'm going to show you one of my favorite displays. I like people with brilliant ideas. And this is a churchyard scene. How beautiful is this? I really like this. So yew with multi-trunks at the top. So this is reminiscent of the Tandridge yew. So it shows that you don't have to have a single trunk to form the apex. Beautifully trained. Look at that detail. Exquisite Nibari. Privet again. It's rather nice stand. Exquisite stand. This looks like a Japanese spindle, but probably imported from Japan. Semi-cascade style. Look at that intricate trunk. Must have been trained when it was very young. Again, a classic flame-shaped ginkgo in good condition. White beech in such a small pot, I don't know how it survives. Beautiful tree, big tree. Another white beech, massive trunk. Look at it, immaculate condition. And the pot is perfect for the tree, complements the autumn color. Pale sky blue pot, nice from every side. And this is a Hinoki cypress. Hinokis are very hard to keep in good condition. I don't know whether it's made himself or not. Could be. Again, in immaculate condition. Root of a rock white pine. David Jones pot. Look at that. It's beautiful. Squamata juniper, rather unusual because squamatas usually have straight trunks. Beautifully trained, beautifully trained. And a larch on this slab. Look at that. Nicely displayed, such good condition. An olive, twin trunk olive tree, beautiful root base. Look at the nibari on that. And this is a 5-needle pine, literati style. Now the last row, these are all Scots pines, it looks like. Very Shohin trees. Scots pines. You notice that in this video I'm showing the exhibition with no backdrop, but there is a backdrop in fact. The whole hall is with this dark black cloth and it works. So you can walk right round the display. I would say that all these exhibits are immaculately displayed, carefully chosen, shows how much love has gone into these trees. I think that's an osteomilles, Japanese import. These are all connoisseurs trees. There's a beautiful black pine. Not very big, it's only like 12 inches high. What we call a Shohin display. And this is a mermaid display. So much detail. Yeah, good. You enjoying it?
Yes, very lucky.
Lovely display, huh? That's very unusual. Look at it.
Yeah.
Semi-cascade pom-poms. I think that is a lonicera of some kind. Oof. Look at the detail. Amazing. So small, look at it, compared to my hands. This is a maple display. Mountain maples, various mountain maples, root over rock. Must give them compliment for keeping maples so well, because all our maples have suffered this year. And anyone who has been able to grow maple well this year deserve a special prize. 3 more stands and that we're at the end. Another Shohin display. That looks like an ordinary English yew. Look at the detail on that. Pyracantha. Chinese quince. Silkover broom. Sorry. Another lovely Shohin display. I hope you are enjoying the pots. Look at the detail of that pot. Crackle glaze, immaculate. Exposed root, showed you by. Enjoying it, sir? So much detail. Beautiful. Look at that hinoki. The detail on that. And in such good condition. That tree is barely 5 inches tall. See my hand.
Peter. How you
Hi,
doing?
very good, Mauro. Cotonia Stone Rock. This is the last of the trees and I'm done. This is a larch. So much detail. Beautiful. There you go. I'm going to climb the stairs. I hope I can get a panoramic view of the entire exhibition and display. So I hope, Mark, I've done justice to your exhibition. Must say it's extremely well planned. So this gives you some idea as to the size and scale of the exhibition. So I hope you've enjoyed it. So,
Hiya.
Martin, is it?
Yeah, Martin from Montag.
Okay, and you do these lovely tag system. You're
Yes,
going
for
to
the
be on my
trees.
YouTube video.
Oh, very
Okay.
good. Yes.
All right, so this is how. Tell us how it works.
Well, you microchip the tree by injecting the
Okay,
microchip. Into the
can you
tree.
show us the
I'll
thing?
show you.
Yeah.
I'll just put the glasses on. So, in the kits they're provided,
Yeah.
we get a medical sharp like that. It's normally for.
So what's in
microchipping.
that chip? That's a chip in there.
There's a chip normally in there. This
Yeah.
is an empty one.
Oh,
Right, so just demonstrate. So what you do in the kit, you get a drill, you drill the length of that
Yes.
flute into the tree,
Yeah.
hit the tree straight in,
Yeah.
thin tree at angle, you make a cavity then, and the cavity is to accept that
Oh,
microchip.
gosh.
It's only 12 millimeters
does the
long.
water affect it in any way?
No,
How long would it last?
forever.
Oh, you say that.
Forever.
All
So
right.
then we take the medical sharp out of its
Yeah.
sterilized packaging,
Yeah,
and the microchip is normally preloaded in there.
Okay.
This is an empty one.
yeah.
Then we take offer this up to the hole and just put it in the sharp bit into the hole, so we give the space for the microchip to go in. And we just load it with that.
Okay.
Pushes the microchip into the tree, and then we just seal it
Okay.
afterwards, and the tree will grow over
So
it.
how do you, supposing the tree gets stolen, you got to find the tree
You've got to find the tree.
and then identify the tree.
Yes.
So it's only to identify the
It's
tree.
it identify.
Okay.
Identify and theft deterrent. The theft deterrent element is in the signage we give you in each pack and the labelling we give you, you
Okay.
write the chip on. And then we give you larger labels
Oh.
for if you want to display
Okay.
better. So if I use a scan, and that reads microchip in the tree. And you
Oh.
can write that number on the tag,
Okay.
the loop lock tie, to prove ownership.
So
You
the
may-
tag comes with the chip, is
yeah.
it?
So in the packaging, you will get everything that's in there for single tree.
For single tree. All right.
And then we do 5 trees, 10 trees, 25, 50 pack, and then we go to 100 as well if you
Okay.
need them. So we usually do discounts at the shows.
Hmm.
Prices are on there.
So your partner was telling me that you heard the story when I lost or had two
Yes.
famous pines stolen, and
Yes.
that's what got you interested in
Yes.
this?
So in about
93, yes.
I visited your nursery,
I had two big pines stolen.
and there was signs outside saying your tree there's been theft.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, what can you do? Because I ride motorbikes, and I knew that
Oh.
data tag was around for
Oh,
motorbikes.
okay.
So it's applied the theory to that. And
Oh.
over years, I developed
Okay.
this packaging over a period of time. And we did make a bit of fame. We ended up on Blue Peter Show.
Oh,
Not Bontown, but the idea, and they
Okay.
did it on the show.
Oh.
So because of your nursery and the fact that that's why this has been developed, so that's a claim to fame.
okay, great.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, the scanner that you have to use to actually identify the microchip.
Universal scanner of this type of make, that's Trovan. But vets have scanners, the police have scanners,
Same scanner.
similar.
Oh.
This is the pocket
Oh.
scanner, but the police have larger scanners because they scan motorbikes,
Oh.
put the tags in motorbikes.
So if you had a tree stone and you identified where the tree was, where you thought it was, but then how would you turn around and say, right, okay, I need to prove that tree's mine?
Well, you'd have to contact the police if you didn't have a scanner. You'd have to contact the police and get them to come to the site and say, I found my stolen item.
Oh.
And they could scan it and prove the ownership. It's a bit like having the registration and documents for your car.
Yeah.
You can prove if that's your car. If you sell this on in the future, your tree, you just transfer that information to the
Okay.
next owner.
All right.
The microchip in there lives forever. It'll never wear out because there's no battery involved. It's
But
passive.
supposing the new owner bought the tree, will the same scanner work? That means.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a number of
Okay.
scanners. These
Okay.
scanners will read about half a dozen different types of chips. It'll even scan pets, animals. So
Oh.
you don't have to buy a scanner. But if you,
So you can actually use the scanner what a farmer uses for the sheep.
Yeah.
Scan.
yes,
So is it an RFD tag?
RFID tag. So it's a radio frequency identification device. And they've been around since the early 80s. And they were in motorbikes, animals, veterinary. They use the technology in industry from production lines. So the technology's been there a long time. It's proven technology. This is only identification purposes, and theft deterrent. Stop people coming to your garden and going. They see labelling on the sign, they might say, "Oh, I'll leave them alone." I am working on GPS
Okay,
for the
great.
next level, but I need to go through a process. I was that close to having produced.
Have you patented this?
No.
You better
It's
do.
not patented, copyrighted, but I am, as far as I'm aware, the only person in the world that produces a package that you can buy off the shelf.
Yeah.
Well, recently
Okay.
I supplied Bonsai Gardens of Lake Merritt,
Oh.
100 kits, to
Okay.
do all their trees on
Okay.
site. That's in San Francisco.
Andy from Tree in a Pot, Urban Bonsai.
Okay.
With a man like Peter Chan.
I do remember you from years back.
Yes.
When did we first come into contact?
Many years. Been
Okay.
down to your
Okay.
nursery probably like 15, 20 years
Is that
ago.
all?
Yes,
Okay.
it was a long time ago.
So you're branching out into making pots and
yeah,
all that?
Yeah, I don't mind
Oh,
making the occasional
lovely,
pots.
lovely. It's nice to see people growing and setting up in their
Yeah,
own way.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you're very
Well,
kindly
You
giving
learned
me
me
a
a lot
pot.
around Larch back in the day.
Okay.
Especially
Uh,
from where you started.
Thank you. Thank you for the gift of the pot.
You're very welcome.
Okay, thank you, Andy.
Mr. Chan.
Well, today I'm in Telford at the Telford Show, and I have David here. I wanted to record this because it's a very special story. I autographed the book for him today, but was this a book that your father owned?
This is my father's book.
Father's
yeah, it
book.
was-
And this inspired his father to do bonsai, now inspiring the son to do bonsai. So it's continuing on the tradition. How good is that? Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Keep it up.